everybody, Andrew here from MNPC Tech, and today we're looking at the Magic Cube AIO case from Cubitek, which I used in my case mod project a few weeks back. Quiet PC was nice enough to send us this case for review, and they're actually carrying these now in the US, so this is a great lightweight case to look at, Midtower. So we're going to do a video review on this case today. So it's a beautiful day out here in Minneapolis today, so we're going to be doing this outside. And just to start off, looking at the weight of this case in the box with all the packaging comes out to about 15.5 pounds. So right away you know that this is a lightweight, nice mid-tower case. So for taking this out, you can just open up the bottom, flip it over, slide the box off, and you're done. So now, as you can see, we've got some styrofoam packaging here. Box of accessories, which that was one of the pluses of this case, is they give you pretty much everything you need. And we have our Cubitek Magic Cube. And this thing is really, really light, especially out of the box. So we'll just grab our scale here. And we've got about 12 pounds, it looks like, for this case. So that's one of the great features of this, is it's got nice construction, really lightweight. As we mentioned before, and why we did the mod review is just because it's perfect palette for doing some mods. So we start off taking a look at the front of the case here. You can see you've got a gold-plated microphone and headphone jack, as well as two USB 3.0 and two USB 2.0 ports. Coming down to the bottom, this may be a deal breaker for some people. There's one optical drive. For me, it's not really a big deal. But I know, some people like their 5 1/4 bays, so that's one thing to notice about this case. Looking at the overall view, you can see that they're rounded. The front is a rounded edge up to the top here, and it gives a really sleek, nice look, which is something I like about the case. And up top we have a 120mm fan, which from the factory is a blue LED fan. I'll have to excuse the noise. It's too nice out to go inside, but we're gonna have to deal with that a little bit here. So I want to come back to this front panel again, because this is really my love-hate relationship with the Cubitek case. It really could be a simple fix if Cubitek wanted to give the option of having a perforated front panel, and they did it up top with this honeycomb style perforation. They could do it up front. It would allow for more airflow, and I think it really would look much better on the front of the case here. So that's kind of what I struggle with in this area. What I do love, however, is the functionality of this front panel. You have the option of mounting two 140mm or two 120mm fans, as well as dual 140 or dual 120 radiators up front, which is great. I really love this universal spacing here. It really allows for easy installation of radiators, fans, all different kind of sizes, 120, 140. What we can look at here is we've got a 2x140 radiator. This can fit into place in a push-pull configuration if you so choose, which is one of the nice benefits of this case, is all that space up front to do that. And you can also do just single fan config as well, if you just remove one of the layers of fans here. So you have that option. You also have the option of using a 2x120 radiator. So that makes this front panel actually really quite attractive. All right, so moving on to the back. As you can see, there's a 140mm fan, black, which is included with the case. You've got AIO ports slot here, as well as 8 PCI slots, which is great for a case this size. Tubing ports, if necessary. And then you've got a PSU backplate, which is really nice that they use these bigger thumb screws on this. Obviously they're more noticeable, but they're a lot easier to deal with than those smaller ones. And then you've also got a fan filter for the power supply down here as well. So here we're going to flip it over and look at the bottom. And as you can see, there are 4 chrome case feet included with the case. This is where you can mount a drive in the bottom of the case. So they've got mounting holes. And then coming over here, we've got the ventilation for the power supply, as well as 4 thumb screws for locking in the mounting plates for the power supply. So looking at the side panel here, one thing to notice is there aren't any lips or edges, folded edges on the side panel, which it makes for a sleek look, but it's really a pain to take out these small thumb screws and then not have something to set the side panel into when you're putting it back on. So once we remove the last one down here, you'll see that the side panel kind of just falls down because there isn't a lip holding it on. And so that's kind of a pain just to get this back on, because you have to hold it in place and then use the tiny thumb screws to take that off. And these are nice, well-built but thin and light side panels, so that's a positive towards this case as well. The first thing you'll notice about this is there's ample room inside, and they were able to achieve that by using the CD drive bay, excuse you, Bill. The CD drive bay down here that you can fit a hard drive as well as the CD drive in. And you can also, what's unique about this case is it's about an inch wider than most normal mid-tower cases. And what that allows is nice spacing in the back for cabling, as well as you can see you can mount several hard drives inside the back panel, which is kind of a nice feature as well. So that helps to clean up the whole front of the case, which is why I think this would be a great case for a water cooling project or something, because you do have a lot of room to work with up there. Looking at our optical drive bay here, Cubitek took an approach that I think is really unique and kind of cool. They've got options for mounting 2 hard drives on the top of this bay, which is really nice. And then there's also space for mounting 1 additional hard drive underneath the optical bay down here. So you can have 1 optical drive, which, as I mentioned, may be a downside for some people. I don't see it as a big issue really, but it is nice that they included mounts for hard drives or SSDs. 3 of them are in this drive bay, and then you've got another 4 behind the motherboard tray as well. These rubber grommets included are a nice touch. They could be a little bit more durable. They're kind of flimsy, but they do get the job done and they look pretty good. Looking at the front AIO connectors and switches, it's important to note that the switches are plastic assemblies, but they do feel very durable, and I don't feel like that's going to create any issues. And I do like how this is all run behind the motherboard tray. One thing that would be nice is an extra cable hole grommet here, just for more cabling purposes. When I did my install, it was a little tricky to get everything just in these 3 slots. So looking at the back of the case here, where you mount the power supply, what's interesting about this is it has these mounting rails, which through thumb screws on the bottom of the case you can move back and forth, which is nice for if you have a smaller power supply, you can give yourself more room in the bottom of the case. And to take a look at the fan filter here, which can be removed through the back of the case, it's interesting to note that these are really thin and lightweight, and they're really flexible, as you can see. So it's a benefit, because they are nicely designed, lightweight, and they do their job. But it is something to note that they may wear out quicker over time, or be just a little bit less durable than the thicker fan filters. And they also have this up front as well with the 2 140 fans. And if we take our ruler here, you can see there's about 1.25 inches of space back behind the motherboard, which is really great for running cables, mounting hard drives, SSDs, you name it, you can do it with this side of this case, which is great, and it's a really great feature. One interesting thing to note is the width of this is about 9.5 inches, which is quite a bit wider than standard mid-tower cases, but what that allows them to do is get all of this space behind the motherboard tray for doing cables and that sort of thing. When I installed a system in this, however, you do want to make sure that you have cables that are long enough, because when you're running things back here, you can run into issues with that, even if you do think they're long enough. For cable management purposes, it does tend to get a little bit of a stretch if you're trying to run to a hard drive all the way on the back side of the case. So that's something to look at. as well as with our front panels, or our side panels, excuse me. Again, it's kind of difficult to get these on when you have things mounted back here, because there's no lip or anything to set the panel into. You kind of are just forced to press it up against the side and use the tiny little thumb screws to install it. So that's kind of a pain, and it makes installation a little bit trickier, but overall I think this is a nice feature to include such a large amount of space behind the motherboard tray. The included accessories, I think Cubitek did a great job including everything that you really need to get your system running here. So we've got plenty of screws, power supply thumb screws, motherboard standoffs, these nice grommets for mounting SSDs and hard drives, and screws that accommodate those grommets, hard drive installation screws, motherboard standoff screws. We've got an Allen wrench and motherboard speaker. The Allen wrench is for the small external thumb screws, and I think Cubitek did a great job with their included accessories here. Closing out with our Cubitek Magic Cube AIO here, I think the strong suits are great functionality, great design, and that's really what sells this case. You've got ample space for water cooling up front, it's extended ATX, it can fit plenty of graphics cards. I like the side panel behind the motherboard tray has plenty of space for cable management, hard drives, etc. So I think this is a great case for those looking to install an e-atx system. That being said, I'm not a huge fan of the front panel, but that's not really enough to keep me from not liking the case. Cubitek is demanding a premium price for this at $254.99, which is a little steep and tough for competition, but I do think that if this fits your application, this is a great option for a Midtower extended ATX case. Quiet PC was nice enough to give us this case for review, and so we're actually going to be giving this away on the Case Mod blog by September 15th. So if you click the link below the video and register on the Case Mod blog, leave a comment, and you'll be in the running to win the Cubitek Magic Cube AIO. So I hope you guys enjoyed my review. Keep a lookout for more reviews coming in the future. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we'll see you later.